I mentioned in lesson 1 where we did this pair of chords and the resultant mixture of black and white notes, question and answer. I mentioned that we specifically named the scales that we're using, and I also left you to prepare this next pair of chords. So we'll deal with last week's chords, last lesson's chords, by saying that although we said all white notes work and black notes decorate, that's true, but it is actually organised into named scales. And one scale we can use over this pair of chords, D to D all white notes, is known as the D Dorian scale, Dorian mode. Now the reason why we want to know that is it organises other scales for us. If I number those notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, before we're back to the first one again, take out the second and sixth notes, and it creates another scale. It creates a scale which is that group of 3 and that group of 3, and that's known as the D minor pentatonic scale. D minor pentatonic. When you play with that, it gives it a little hint of a blues flavour. Where they meet, think 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Where they meet, that middle black note, if you now add that in to the D minor pentatonic scale, it transforms it into the D blues scale. So the same chords work over that. D Dorian choice, which works, any number of ornaments. You have a pentatonic flavour and a full-on blues. If we look at the next chords, this is an E minor 7 jazz voicing and an A7 jazz voicing. Just one move again. It's actually a copy of what you've already learned, but it's gone up a tone. It's gone up to the next set of alphabet names. So only one note is changing. If I make sure you can see them, starting with those and going to there. G, B, D, F sharp gives us the E minor chord. Change the D to a C sharp. Keep the others where they are. There's your A chord. Back and forth. We'll have a jam on this, I'll accompany you again, but I'm also going to leave you to have a go at working out the scales that we've just mentioned, the collection of Dorian, minor pentatonic and blues can be done on all these pairs. You've got the one I showed you just now as a template. I'll help you with it next lesson, but it's good to try and work things out. It gets into the memory more easily. So the E scale, what we want, the E Dorian scale, I'll tell you, is E to E, all white notes except those two, F sharp and C sharp. Doodling around randomly on a scale like that is a great way of fixing it with your eye and your mind as to what you're going to play. Okay, so one thing you'll be doing is question and answer on that, finding the notes you can ornament with. For instance, there's no F or C in there, but listen to what happens if I put them in as ornaments. So quite nice riffs. Just trying them out. At the moment I'm not trying to solo, I'm just thinking what's available. when I do try and solo, I'll think question and answer. Question, answer, and so on. You can then take out the 2nd and 7th notes. Remember what we did on the D1? They're easy to find because they happen to be those 2 sharps. So taking those away, and you end up with the E pentatonic minor, and where they meet, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. That's your blue note. That's so now we've gone from E Dorian, E minor pentatonic to E blues. So gradually getting to know those. Next lesson we'll come back to those and jam on them. What I'm going to suggest now is just go for the Dorian, and we'll have a brief jam on the 2 chords. But you can of course keep reusing the lesson to try out your pentatonic minor and your blues. So let's have a rhythm again. You're doing your own question and answer on the E Dorian. 1, 2, 3, 4. See you in lesson number 3.